that when you go in there and you're there, you're basically, like a paranormal security guard for these people. You can't flinch. You can't get freaked out by something, because you getting
can't.
freaked out means that person might never want to go back into their own home again. I've seen it happen with investigators where I've said to them, they've taken off on an investigation and said, I can't go back down there. I can't go. Like, no, you have to, because you're the last line of defense for these people. You have to be able to go in there and say, whatever this is, I know it can't hurt me. I know it can't, it's very limited in its reach. It's very limited in its power. The most it can do is unnerve me, and I can't let it do that.
Right. Exactly. I've also talked with them, and I told them, I said, look, you've chosen to do this, whether it's, whether it's just for fun or if you're, a serious researcher. And I remind them, this is what you're here for. This is why you chose this. This is what you want to experience. So, I after I tell them this, I tell them, to go ahead and get your composure and feel, so you feel comfortable. And I'm not going to place anybody in somewhere that they're uncomfortable with, but I like for them to kind of settle in. But, and I was listening to you talking about sitting in the basement or and with the lights off, so you can get to feel the room, feel the area. I agree totally with that. You have to know where you are. You have to have, your energy is also mixing with whatever energy that might be there. So the more that your energy is there, the more it gets used to it. Maybe you might have seen those feet coming down the stairs a little longer. Maybe you don't know if it was an energy thing or if it just, if it has any feeling saying, well, he's weirding me out and he leaves. I mean, you don't know. So,
Well, I mean, I guess too, like there's the benefit of being able to have that effect on your fellow investigators, being able to, maybe you can help raise their, for lack of a better term, their kind of their vibrational status, their get them a little bit more up into the beta waves so they can perceive this stuff through hypnosis. You can probably get people closer to that, but then isn't the opposite side of that too? You have to be careful not to put somebody in a state where they could be highly susceptible to suggestion.
I make sure that, I before I place anybody into hypnosis, I explain to them what I'm going to do. I explain to them what it's going to do, and I want them to be comfortable with it. I just don't place anybody under without knowing exactly what I'm doing. So when I work with clients for just, PTSD and things like that, when I do the assessment and as I'm writing the my session, I go over the session after I'm done with it, so they know exactly what's being done, they know exactly what we're going to do, and they know exactly how the session's going to go. No surprises, and that's also a good comfort level. That I've found that the more they know about what you're going to do, the easier that they will go under.
I mean, I've never been hypnotized. I've never been put into that type of a scenario or a suggestion. I've always said, I'd be open to the possibility, but at the same time, when I go on an investigation, just as an example, this came up, it was last Friday night when I was in Connecticut. I'm talking to some of the tour guides for the Smith Harris house. And one of them said to me, dead serious, have you ever investigated while taking psychedelics? I said, well, no.
I don't have folks do that.
No, because
I don't have to do that.
I've never taken a psychedelic, and I probably wouldn't because I just don't have that much time. But it made me think that it's not entirely a
Right.
bad idea to have that happen because
under controlled circumstances with a doctor, I could see maybe experimenting with that, but just going into somebody's
right, not into somebody's home, no,
somebody's place of business or home, you don't need anybody tripping out in there. I mean, that's that's my responsibility, and if anything happens, I'm responsible for it. So, but I can't do that.
I do think though that to some degree we kind of put ourselves in that same mindset when we are investigating. Obviously, we're not being controlled chemically by something, that we're putting into our bodies, but we are changing our psychological outlook when we go into these places.